There we go. We almost had a situation there where there was no sound. But hey, girlfriends! Oh my gosh, it's so good to be back. Who is in the curl chat? Let me know if you're here. I absolutely missed you guys so much. I missed just the regular flow of things. Like every Friday we connect right here on Financial Hair Rocks. On Mondays we connect as well with our regular uploads, that sort of a thing. So sorry, my dog is in the background crying because hubby just walked outside. So I hope you can't hear that. Let me know if you can. If you can hear it, I'm so sorry. If you can't hear it, that's good. You can't hear it. So today we are going to be talking about the things that are thinning your fine natural hair. Now, girlfriends, if you've got fine natural hair, you have to really be aware of everything that's happening if you have goals, right? Like if you don't have any goals for your natural hair, you're not trying to thicken it up, you're not trying to lengthen it, then this isn't the video for you. It's just not, right? But if you are trying to thicken up your fine natural strands, you are on a length retention journey, you want to be able to wear your own hair and feel comfortable and gorgeous minus any additions to it, then this is definitely the video for you. Hi, Patricia. Hey, Nadoom. Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome. It is so nice that you are here. Thank you so much for joining me here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. Apologies for that little bounce. It's gone. The bounce is gone. So yeah, like girlfriend, I hope you've been well. I hope you've had a really fantastic week. My week was pretty good as well too. A little bit of sad news. A friend of mine, a coworker of mine actually passed away. There was a horrific accident in the GTA region, and unfortunately she was one of the vehicles that was harmed and unfortunately passed away because of the incident. So if you can just keep the family in your prayers, your thoughts, your prayers. It's always difficult to lose anybody, but this young woman was definitely an advocate for just anti-Black racism. She was a social worker, she was a mom, she was a really fantastic human being, and unfortunately she's no longer with us because of an accident, right? So, oh, hi, Kamira. Oh my gosh, welcome. So yeah, I just wanted to, keep her and her family in our thoughts and prayers, because she's definitely somebody who I will absolutely miss as a great coworker and as a great human being. Period. Patricia Jenkins, prayers to her family. Thank you. So, girlfriend, let us get into this. So, five things. Well, maybe not five things, but I think I have, let me see what my list is saying here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things. 8 things that are thinning out your natural hair. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and address the big one, which is over manipulation. Over manipulation, of course, if your hands are in your hair for no reason, you are combing your hair too roughly, you are styling your hair too roughly, applying products to your hair too roughly, that kind of a thing, then that is absolutely going to lead to breakage. It's going to lead to thinning too. So thinning, breakage is pretty much part and parcel of the same thing. So you really want to avoid those things. Now, over manipulation can happen in really unexpected ways. So we know that we need to be wearing our bonnets while we sleep. We know that, if you've been watching Financial Hair Rocks, you know that I also wear my bonnet when I'm on the couch. But how many of us know that when you're driving in your vehicle and your hair is kind of moving all around the place, that can cause breakage as well? I mean, this is getting really specific and technical with it. But I mean, if you are somebody who is really trying to achieve something, a new echelon of hair growth, a new level of hair health for yourself, then you're going to have to do new things, right? And so these are the new things that I think are important to bear in mind if you are trying to get somewhere new with your natural hair journey. Second on the list is heat tools. So all heat tools, the Rivera included. The Rivera is something I talk about all the time. And I still love it. But all heat tools will have a potential for breakage. It doesn't matter what it is. Any kind of tool that's manipulating your hair, girlfriend, is going to cause breakage. Wide tooth combs can cause breakage. The Felicia Leatherwood brush can cause breakage. Tangle teaser, your fingers, anything really can cause breakage, which goes back to the over manipulation piece. But then the heat tool piece is that, there's all these things on the market that talk about there's no breakage from it. There's no harm to the hair from it. For fine naturals, there is harm to it. Your hair can thin out from it. And so I'm not saying don't ever use it, but I am saying that you probably want to use it more sparingly as opposed to on a regular basis. The next tip on the list is nutrition. So, girlfriend, I have seen a difference. This one is a little bit, again, something that we hear all the time, but I have seen quite a bit of information out there about nutrition. I decided to try it myself, eat more veggies, eat more fruits, and I have seen a difference, right? So if you are somebody who's not getting your nutrients in, diet is something really difficult to change. It was for me, especially if you're kind of set in your ways, you know what you like to eat, that type of a thing. So I would definitely say start small. If you know that you're not getting your veggies in, you're not getting your healthy proteins in, then maybe get a multivitamin so that you can kind of supplement that. Maybe consider getting biotin supplements, going to your doctor, talking about the fact that like your diet's not the best, but while you work to improve it, you're going to be taking, you would like some supplements to kind of supplement the missing vitamins. That's going to help as well too. Something that I didn't know that I needed, but I definitely need is vitamin D. I have a vitamin D, not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's a deficiency, but it's very low. And vitamin D is very important for your health. So the only reason why I know that I need more vitamin D is because I did speak to my doctor about, just having an overall healthier body. And one of the byproducts of making sure that my vitamin levels are up is absolutely, the hair is thickening up, things are looking more fuller. It looks the way it should look. Kamira says, just popping in quickly, trying to get back slowly. Ah, I love that. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss you. You are always welcome. Any one of you, girlfriends, if you're joining the replay gang, if you're here live, I just really do appreciate the fact that you're spending your Friday afternoon with me here on Find Nature Here Rocks. So if you do have to pop in, pop out, whatevs, totally totally a-okay. Island girl, hey ladies, I only missed a few minutes of the live. Yes, you're good to go. You are good to go. And girlfriend, this live is going to be available permanently here on Find Nature Here Rocks. So if you do want to, pop back in, maybe you missed something, you want to get back to it, you can absolutely do so, because this live, as well as most of the other lives, I would say like 97% of the other lives, are available right here on Find Nature Here Rocks permanently. Hi, Diamond Purdy. Just popped in. I'm at work, but we live. Yeah, we live. We are absolutely live. I, honest to God, missed you so much. I went to Vegas for a bachelorette, girlfriends. I did post some of the pictures. If you do want to see more, then definitely follow me on Instagram, where I will be posting a little bit more, although I did post quite a few of them, or a little bit of them, in our community tab, which, thank you, girlfriend. You've been so active up in there with our quiz. Most of you guys got our quiz correctly about what Find Nature Hair actually is. So that was really cool. But yeah, like I definitely have been posting quite a bit about the trip. If you wanted to see like behind the scene pictures, anything like that, that's the reason why we've been a little bit off schedule, but we are 100% back. We're back, baby. The next thing, so we're on number 1, 2, 3, we're on 4. So the fourth thing that's going to be thinning out your natural hair is your protective styles. Now, it's not all protective styles, girlfriend. It really is those protective styles that are very manipulative. They, force your strands to like, kind of like tangle up on each other, that kind of a thing. So I'm talking, for me, if your Find Nature Hair is different, then let me know, girlfriend, in the curl chat. But for me, box braids are a road to breakage and thinning. It's just the amount of manipulation needed to impart the style, the amount of manipulation needed to take down the style. By the time there's any length retention, girlfriend, it's out the door. Like, it's gone. So to avoid all of that, reprogramming in my brain that box braids are not a protective style, at least not for me, right? A protective style for me is something, and what I think for most Find Naturals is something that will allow your hair to be by itself, nice, contained, protected. When you take out the protective style, you are experiencing growth. There's only one style that I know of that really does that, and that's wigs. Now, I know a lot of us girlfriends here, we don't necessarily like wigs. We don't want to be attaching things to our hair. But if you are somebody who's okay with wigs, that's something that really works. Now, I don't necessarily feel the same way about all wigs. I mean, when it comes to half wigs, particularly, those are the ones that I think work the best for Find Natural strands, because you can leave out the front perimeter of your hair. You could blend it on in. The new headband wigs are chef's kiss, because you can literally have all of your hair in and then just put the band on the top and just have it and everything is growing, everything is nice, right? So that's the reason why, when it comes down to kinky twists, crochet, like I think crochet is not as bad if it's going into your hair properly, but box braids are a big no-no. Kinky twists are, a close no-no, but again, these styles can be had. Just if your hair is something, you're trying to avoid thinning, these are not styles that are going to help you avoid thinning. Now, if you wanted to put like braids on your own natural hair, or you want to do twists on your own natural hair, that's a completely different story. I mean, you can absolutely do that and achieve really beautiful looks, and also achieve really great results as it relates to avoiding thinning and increasing the thickness of your strands. But if you are applying things like box braids and, those extensions to your fine natural strands, and you're wondering why your hair is thinning out, I think that that's a good place to look first. Knee bangs. Hey, I did too. My strands are super thin. Yeah, thin strands are real. I also have thin strands. For those of you who are new to Fine Natural Hair Rocks, I do have thin strands underneath my head wrap here. I have a lot of thin strands. So I have a lot of density, but the individual strands themselves are quite thin. And so these are the things that I've been doing to, retain as much of my thin strands as possible, so that the density can look as thick as possible. Kamira, we have to get together soon. Gotta go now. Great to see you. Yes, we definitely do, Kamira. Kamira's Canadian just like me, so we are absolutely going to connect very shortly. Knee banks, me doing box braids right now. Let me take them out. Yeah, you know what, knee banks? I mean, if you're already going with it, just know that like maybe it's not the best style for next time. But I still enjoy it like once a year, knowing that like maybe the growth might not be what I'm looking for. At the very least, I try to install my box braids and hope that I'm at the same place that I was before, if not a little bit better. So yeah, sounds like a gorgeous style. I don't want to be the reason why you're not enjoying your gorgeous style, knee banks, but I think more info is always better as well. And of course, it always comes down to your particular experience. So if you are putting box braids into your hair, extensions into your hair that are not wigs, and you're seeing a lot of growth, girlfriend, continue that. Don't stop doing that. This advice is simply just that. It's guidelines. So if it works for you to be doing something that I'm saying doesn't work for me, please keep doing that, because at the end of the day, your hair care journey is very separate, distinct, and unique to you. Tiffany, box braids work for me. You just have to make sure your braids are good size for your hair, doesn't cause breakage around the edges. Also, don't leave them in for too long. So those are fantastic tips in terms of making your box braids work for you. And I really appreciate you, Tiffany, for sharing that, because I do think that there's a place for it if your hair can handle it. Um, Tiffany, I have fine hair too. Braids longer than 4 weeks are risky. Yes. So the 1, 2 times that I have done box braids, girlfriend, I did not leave them in for more than, I think, 6 weeks max. And my hair was okay. But I knew when I was taking it down that had I have pushed to 7, 8 weeks, there would have definitely been unnecessary breakage involved, which would have led to thinning. Island girl, I have fine low density hair. I have very few strands. Yeah. So, if you've got very few strands, you also have low density hair, you really want to do the things that are going to make sure that the strands that you do have are in an optimized state. And so that, while you're taking care of the strands you do have, if you do get more new growth and, density, for whatever reason, maybe it's improving over time because there was a deficiency in nutrition or something, you are in a place where you can actually start to see those benefits. And if I was in a position where I had low density hair as well as fine strands, I probably would lean more heavily into like the wigs, because wigs I find only have the manipulation on 1 or 2 spots on the head, and you can also move it around, right? So if you've got the combs, maybe use the combs today, here, and at the back somewhere, but then the next time you install your wig, you're not using the combs, you're using like little what do you call it? They're bobby pins instead. Hi, Mahamza! Late to the party, but I made it. What's up? Thank you so much for coming. Island girl, box braids are very beneficial to my hair. I have to do them smaller since my hair is so thin. Yeah. So, that's a very interesting point. So when I do actually do box braids, curl friends, I usually ask for thicker parts and less added hair so that it's not weighing the hair down too much. Because that's another thing that can happen too with the thinning of the strands is if you are using, smaller parts, heavier hair, then that heavy hair can pull out your real hair. And then you start to see a lot more what looks to be shedding, but it's actually a form of breakage directly from the scalp. Not saying that that happens all the time, but just being aware of how heavy the extension is that's being applied to each section of hair can make the difference as well in terms of like the thinning of natural hair. Hi, Sheila. New to the channel. Welcome, girlfriend. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you, if you are tuning into today's live stream, brand new to Find Natural Hair Rocks, you should know that I post new videos at least once a week every single Monday. And I also go live every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well, which is right now. So thank you so much for coming. Find Natural Hair Rocks is absolutely the place to be if you are trying to lengthen and strengthen your Find Natural hair. That is the whole point of Find Natural Hair Rocks. We are a curlfriend community dedicated to really getting the most out of our Find Natural strands, particularly since, in this American society, Americanized society, Find Natural strands aren't really celebrated, even in the natural hair movement. So here on Find Natural Hair Rocks, that's out the window. We are absolutely celebrating Find Natural hair up in here. Island girl. Oh, I think I missed one. Tiffany, I tend to get less breakage when I put in larger box braids. Yeah, same here. Again, everyone's hair is different, but for me, I have noticed that I have a lot more success with maintaining the thickness of my strands when I do put less hair on bigger sections, which kind of sucks. Like, I mean, if you're going for a look, I get it. Like, there's looks out there, especially on Pinterest. Pinterest is notorious for this, where they'll post a gorgeous style and you want to duplicate the style. But if you're duplicating the style and you're imparting, the tips and tricks that you hear from Find Natural Strands, right, from Find Natural Hair Rocks, it's gonna look a lot more scalpy than if you were to like, really fill it on up. So, not saying you can never do that, just saying that if you are doing that, you might not experience as much growth, as much length retention, as much thickening effects as if you were to do it with more healthier minded practices in mind. And I mean, we should have fun, right? Like, not everything is about I need to achieve what I want to achieve from this look. Like, sometimes you just want to have fun and it might not necessarily be good for your hair, but you're just enjoying yourself, right? And that's okay too. You should do that actually. Life is meant to be lived. Island girl, I just got some individual twist extensions last week for my upcoming vacation. Hey, where are you going? Island girl, you cannot drop that info and not let us know. I want to know exactly where you're going because vacation is the thing, it seems, for 2023. Whether you're able to travel outside of your country or your locale, or you're able to, do fun things within. It's so important, especially after, the whole pandemic and all of that, where we were all stuck inside, chilling inside. Like, now we can get out. We really should try and get out as much as we possibly can. Knee banks. Yes, if I don't do a style, I will continue to manipulate my hair, and that causes unnecessary stress and damage to my hair. Absolutely. I'm 100% the same. If you ever come across a video on Find Natural Hair Rocks, today included, and I'm wearing one of these, it's because my hair is not currently styled, but I don't want to have my hand in my hair. So to avoid that, I wear my little, head wraps. They're cute, they work, and I'm not in my hair. And that goes back to the manipulation bit, right? The less you manipulate your hair, the less you do to your hair, is the more you're going to start seeing from it, particularly for Find Natural strands. Martina K. Welcome, Martina. I have fine strands, but high density. I never use combs with my wigs, only bobby pins. Smart. Box braids work much better than rope twists for me. So I've actually never tried rope twists. But yeah, like in terms of moving the bobby pins around, that's really important because like with the wigs, if you do put the bobby pins in the exact same spot all the time, it will start to break off in those spots, right? And I have experienced that before and it's not fun. So definitely moving bobby pins around is a huge piece and it helps a ton. Patricia Jenkins, I do crochet braids and I don't have a problem. I do leave them in long, 2 to 3 weeks max. Yes. So crochet braids, I think, would be one of the protective styles that I believe can grow your fine natural strands thicker, because it kind of does the same thing that wigs do, right? Like, it's very minimal manipulation. You put your cornrows in and then you crochet the weave, which is light, onto each cornrow. Now your hair is not being pulled and tugged and, overly stretched. None of those things are happening. So I think crochet braids, in the grand scheme of protective styles outside of wigs, can really give you, thickness in ways that you're looking for with Find Natural strands. Nadoom, while recovering from breakage, it might be best to avoid braids or twists and just keep the hair stretched to avoid tangles. Definitely. So Nadoom, you actually touched on one of the points that I wanted to make. So, if you're not detangling your hair properly, you are going in with incorrect tools, incorrect methods. You are, trying to rush through your detangling process, not using the right products. That's going to lead to thinning of your hair because your hair is going to break off and it's going to, start to look thinner in places because the breakage is not happening in any particular organized or strategic way. And when I say organized or strategic, I mean like with the trim, right? Like if you trim your hair, you're getting a nice blunt cut, you're getting nice blunt ends, everything is the same length. But when it breaks off, some might break off up here, some might break off down here. You don't know. And that's what causes that wispier, thinner look on certain parts of the head as opposed to others. So to avoid all of that, really making sure to detangle your strands properly is going to make a huge difference. And that's a trial and error process. So I think that's where a lot of naturals, especially fine naturals, go wrong, is where they're detangling their hair. They're using, a tool that they think is working for them, but the hair product's not working for them. Or maybe the hair product's working for them and the tool isn't working for them. And it's really touch or go. Like even with finger detangling, like I've spent so much time trying to learn exactly what finger detangling method works best. And that's something that's trial and error. So, you can, go through a period if you're similar to me where you think you're detangling your hair properly with your fingers, you're not, and you end up with locks at the back. Like nobody was intending for locks, nothing wrong with locks. That just wasn't the intention of this moment, right? So really honing in on what works for you and making sure that every time you do detangle your hair, you're aware of how much hair you're losing. You're aware of how your scalp is feeling during that detangling method. Like that awareness is going to make you get closer and closer to what's ideal for you and your fine natural strands. Nadoom. Okay, sorry. So we covered that one. Perfect. Martina, I'm also new repping Iceland. Hey, Martina from Iceland. Hey, hey. Welcome. Welcome. That is so fantastic. Welcome to the Curlfriend crew. If you are new, Martina, I know you are, but anybody else, please go ahead, hit up the like button if you've heard anything beneficial in today's live stream episode. And also go ahead and hit up the subscribe button as well too, and the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I post those videos at least once a week. Now, the community tab also has, a lot of fun things going on in there too. I connect with you and the rest of the Curlfriend crew every single day through our community tab. And I'm just going to quickly share the screen to show you exactly what that looks like because there's a lot of fun things. We recently did a really cool quiz. That was fun. There's updates in there. So if you didn't know that we were going live today, that's right there. We did a little quiz just to assess like how people are feeling. Are you even available to come to today's quiz or sorry, today's live stream? Here's the pop quiz. 194 of you answered. So thank you so much. Looks like we're all on the same wavelength because 88% of us got the answer correctly. And we're up in here all the time. Some photos from Vegas, just kind of sharing the up and goings of like what's happening behind the scenes of Fine Natural Hair Rocks and how to help you on your own fine natural hair journey. Sheila says, I definitely am trying to strengthen my fine natural hair. Thanks for all of the advice and information. You're very welcome, Sheila. I'm so glad to hear that you're here trying to strengthen your fine natural hair because, these streets, they can be lonely. I mean, when I first started on my journey, I had no idea where to start. I had no idea, like, how to apply all of this information about natural hair, which was predominantly for thicker stranded naturals. And I was just doing things that did not work. I mean, if you ever watch a thicker stranded natural detangle his or her hair and you try to do that with your fine strands, girlfriend, you might come out bald, right? So that's the reason why it's so important to recognize that you've got fine natural strands, but more importantly, to really adopt the methods that work for fine natural hair as opposed for just following whatever we see everybody else doing with their natural hair, which oftentimes doesn't really work. Hamza, you're right, Lavinia. The goal is to optimize the state of the hair we have, not to try and follow trends. Yes, and I'm so glad you said that, Mahamza, because it's tough stuff, right? Like you see something out there, it's so cute, you want to try it. The recent trend that was on the streets, YouTube, TikTok, all of these streets, was where you would braid the hair and you would leave a curl out of the hair and it would just be like this kind of like bohemian type look. I saw all my girlfriend, like my other fellow natural hair gurus here on YouTube, on TikTok and stuff like that. They were all doing it, and a couple of people asked me if I would do it too, and I was like, that looks like breakage in a style. Like, I'll pass. Beautiful style. Can definitely try it with maybe crochet locks, maybe braids, whatever. But to do that on my own fine strands, that is a hard no. Island girl, I'm taking a cruise to Alaska. Wow. Okay. Flying up to Seattle to catch the boat. That is super cool. You enjoy yourself. I hope that you and your loved ones who are going on that trip, you have a fantastic, safe time. I heard the Alaska trip is amazing. I also love cruising too. Have never been to Alaska before. So, yes, I hope you enjoy yourself. That's very exciting. And this is the perfect time to go too. Knee bangs. Okay, great. That's what I'm doing. Smaller braids. My scalp is very sensitive to any type of tension. So smaller is better for my hair. Yes, definitely. That's going to make a huge difference if your goal is to thicken up those strands. Jabril Khadija Oshua. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I really need tips on how to care for my fine strands, but I have a lot of undergrowth and my hair tends to tangle a lot. I can't even leave my hair without braiding. So, Jabril, what do you mean by, you've got a lot of undergrowth? This is something that's new to me. Do you mean like your roots get really tangly? Do you mean that they get tangly and it's really hard to like untangle them? Like if that's the case, it could be an issue with products. Maybe you're not using the right products, that sort of a thing. But yeah, I'd love to know more about that so that I could help you as much as possible. Mahamza, are you transitioning from chemically processed to natural hair? That's a great question. Because transitioning hair really does have a different set of rules. Not rules, but a different set of best practices. Nothing is a hardcore rule, but different set of best practices if you are trying to see some goals, some results from your natural hair care journey with your fine strands. When you've had braid extensions in for a while, if there is any new growth in the front that is causing tension, take them out immediately. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Island Girl, for saying that. So, if you have ever had that and you decide to leave the hair in for the style, that hair will pop right on out. I've experienced that in the past where I wanted to just, enjoy the style, and the style ended up falling out. So that is another way that your hair is going to thin out if you're not paying attention to the state of your hair while it's in a style. That's going to thin it out as well too. Jabril, no, I've always been natural. My hair barely lasts 1 week, then it starts looking like 3-month-old braids. So it sounds like you've got really fast growth, which is fantastic. Yeah, that's a really good issue to have. I think if I'm understanding this correctly, Jabril, that sounds like a really fantastic issue to have. It just means that you probably need to take out your styles more quickly. You probably want to do more thicker styles that don't take as much time to put in, since it does get really messy or old really quickly. All those things are going to help you. Island Girls asking if you use satin scarves and pillowcases. Those are going to help as well. Absolutely, to kind of keep the hair intact, particularly satin scarves, in addition to pillowcases, for sure would make a difference. Mahamza, JKO, that is a great problem to have. It means you have a good growth rate, right? I think so too. I think that's a fantastic issue to have. Jabril, I do sleep with satin bonnets. My hair is always looking like locks, especially when I twist them, mini twists. Yes. So, if they're kind of moving all around the place and you feel like that's causing breakage, then that would be another style to consider doing maybe less often. You love the style, then absolutely, do the style. But if you're looking for length or tension, you're looking for thickening effects, then those styles that are causing the breakage, you might want to slow down on. Shelia, yes, I've had friends do things to their hair that I just knew if I did those things to mine, I would have definitely been bald. Yeah, like, if you can recognize when a style is not for you, it's going to make the world of a difference. So really getting out of that kind of like mind frame of like, anything that I see can work for me. No, I mean, it can if you want to just try out the style and you don't care what happens to your hair after. That's different. You can do whatever you want with your hair. But if the purposes are length retention and it is strengthening and it is thickening, then that might not be the best style. So, we talked about over manipulation, we talked about heat tools, we talked about nutrition, we also talked about detangling and protective styles. Another area where you might be inadvertently thinning out your hair is if you're avoiding trims. So, girlfriend, I was there. Believe me, I was 1,000,000% there where I didn't want to get trims. My logical brain was saying to itself, if I'm trying to grow my hair and thin it out, why would I get trims? Right? And the thing is like trims, if you don't get them, your hair is going to thin out. It will break off. Those jagged edges will then lead, love up on other jagged edges, and then it's going to break off and thin out. And so that's not a good place to be either. And I did notice that the more I thinned my hair on a regular schedule was the more that it started really thicken up, level out, and look gorgeous. And so, friend, I really do encourage you to do that. Now, the beat to that is you need to find somebody who is going to understand that you're on a length retention journey, you're on a thickness journey, you're on a healthy hair journey. And so you really aren't in the mood or in the state of mind to be losing hair unnecessarily. So like if they are, understanding your goals and you have to make sure that they understand your goals, then when they trim your hair, they're going to have conversations with you. They're going to ask you, what are you comfortable with? Are you comfortable with your hair being trimmed by this much? Are you comfortable, losing what you need to lose in order to hit your healthy hair goals? Those kinds of things. That's going to make a huge difference. And that does take time too. Like I can tell you, I've been through quite a few of stylists who really didn't care what my hair goals were. And they just wanted to snip, snip, snip and get the money. And that's fine. It's just I'm not going there again, right? But I mean, again, it's a trial and error. Once you find your person, you absolutely need to stay with your person. Now, if you are in the Toronto area, if you are in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, then the person who I go to all the time, I've been going to her for years now. Her name is Zermarla of Cloud9 Curls. And I'm going to go ahead and leave her IG. Let her know that Fine Natural Hair Rock sent you if you're ever in this region to check her out. But she is fantastic. And I have to say, girlfriend, that Zamarla is the reason why my ends are looking as gorgeous and as full as they absolutely are right now. Let's see what I missed. If I missed anything, I think I did miss a lot actually. So hopping back in comments. Okay. So Jabril says, no, I've always been natural. My hair lasted a week. Okay, so I think I went a little bit too high here. Jabril, I do sleep with satin bonnets. My hair's always looking like locks. Yep, I think we connected on that. Let's see. Sheila, I've had friends. Okay, yes, I've had friends do things to their hair that okay. So I think we connected on that one too. Sorry, just bear with me, girlfriends. You are having a whole party on here, and I'm just trying to keep up. Okay, Jabril, I have shorter hair at my root. My hair isn't breaking though. That's fantastic. So, if you do have shorter hair at the roots, that kind of leads to one of the other points that we were talking about. So, like, your hair really doesn't all need to be a similar length for you to get that thickening effect, for you to really take advantage of, maybe not having as much of the shrinking effect at the roots if it's all the same length. Now, I don't know if you're willing to lose length or how much shorter those roots are, but that's something to consider because, yeah, like everybody's journey is different. Mahamza, JKO, what's your porosity? You might be high pro, and pH management might help to lay your cuticles down and reduce locking and frizzing. A simple ACV spritz will do the trick. 1 part ACV to 4 parts water. So, girlfriends sharing what works for them. Everybody's situation is going to be different. I've actually never tried that before, but it might work for you, and it is something to consider. Martina, what do you guys feel about wash and goes? So wash and goes can be good. There are some curl friends up in the curl chat who have gotten a lot of positive benefits from wash and goes. I see we've got quite a few curl friends in the curl chat. If you are new to Fine Natural Hair Rocks, you should know I do post every single week on Mondays, and we talk all about Fine Natural hair for length, strength, and growth. So if that's something you want to do, or if you've been enjoying the live, please go ahead, smash the like button, and also hit up the subscription box so that you never ever miss another video. So wash and goes. They can be good. For me personally, I don't necessarily like them. I do find that they thin out my hair too. But some curl friends have found a lot of success with them. Jabril, thanks a lot for your advice. I really appreciate it. Love you all. Aw, love you too. I'm glad that this is very helpful for you. That's awesome. Felicia, my hair is so fine. No one is able to deal with it except for me. So, yeah, that's a common feeling, Felicia. I felt that way as well during the beginning of my hair journey. And you really just have to find somebody who, keep looking. Don't lose hope. Keep looking. It is a journey. It was a journey for me as well. Here in Toronto, we do have a significant Black population. There are quite a few stylists who do Black hair, and even then, it was an issue, right? So, keep your eye out on Instagram if you are looking for a salon or a stylist who is good with fine strands. I find TikTok, Instagram, like social media in general, is really good because a lot of the people who are doing the best work, they're not even in person. Sorry, not in person. They should be in person, but they're not in salons. They're working from home and they're doing great work. So, and a lot of people, I find with the proliferation of the internet, a lot of people are cluing in to healthier hair practices, cluing in to like what people are looking for when it comes to their natural strands. So, those horror stories about, the salon, the stylist ruined my hair, whatever the case may be, while that could still be happening, I don't think it's happening as much as it was happening in the past, just because like there's more education out there now, right? The internet is a wonderful thing. Nadoom! Wash and goes are a quick trip to Tangle City after 2 days. That part, yeah, they don't work for me. Although I know that there are some girlfriends here that it works for. So I'm gonna venture out to say it depends on maybe your curl type. Like if your curls like to love up on each other, mine do, then it might not work for you. But if your curls have a tendency to slip past each other a little bit more, maybe your strands are silkier, then that might help you. But mine are kinky, they're coily, they've got tons of personality, they're gonna break off. Okay. So so we talked about irregular trims and how that is, going to damage your strands if you don't have trims often. Over washing, girlfriends. So, all these beautiful products out here that come out, Mayel has 5 million products, Botanicals has 5 million products, Camille Rose, you get my drift. There's all these products, and if you follow it all, you'd think you need it all. Now, when you purchase it all, you also feel like you need to use it all because nobody likes to lose money, right? Nobody likes to waste money. Well, if you are one of those naturals who has a ton of products, as do I over there in the back, and you're trying to use them up and you start overwashing your hair, that will thin out your strands too, right? So you don't want to be overwashing your hair because then that leads to over manipulation and that will also lead to breakage and thin city. So I would recommend really paying attention to how much hair you're losing and maybe slowly stretch that out. So if you are someone who needs your hair washed every single day, maybe you can do every other day, or maybe you can, or if you need somebody like myself, I wash my hair once every 2 weeks. At first I was washing my hair every week. Why? That's because I did that because the naturals on YouTube said that that's what you should do. But when I decided to, stretch it out and see what actually happens, I realized that my hair is actually in a better state and I'm losing the same amount of hair when I wash every 2 weeks as opposed to once per week. So just by virtue of logic, so I was like, okay, well, nothing significant is changing about the dirt level of my hair or the what tangles or anything when I wait 2 weeks. I should just start to wait 2 weeks. And now I can even do a month if, I'm in a protective style. I haven't taken down the protective style. I haven't, it works. Right. And so I really, really encourage you to revisit how often you're washing your hair because washing your hair is a form of manipulation as well. It absolutely is. It's a not as well known form of manipulation, but it's still a form of manipulation. Knee banks, how often to trim? Some say 3 times a year, every month, once a year, etc. I just do not know what to do. So I would say, really pay attention to what your hair needs. If you feel like you're not having any more tangles than usual, you like the way your strands are looking, when you style your hair, maybe you're doing braid outs, twist outs, wash and goes, blowouts, whatever, and you're liking how it's looking, you're not seeing significant tangles, you can stretch it out. I mean, but if you are seeing tangles, you're using the same techniques, you're using the same products, and it's just tangling up more than usual, you're losing more hair than usual, then those are telltale signs that you need a trim. And to that point, there are some other signs that you'll need a trim too. But that's not the scope of today's video. There's so much that can be talked about for fine natural strands, but I will definitely make a video about the signs that you need a trim. because it really does make a difference, girlfriend, in terms of like how thick your hair is going to be and like how healthy your hair is even going to look. So let me just make a quick tip to myself to make that video. I'm just dying about Tangle City. Yeah, nobody wants a trip to Tangle City. Felicia, unfortunately, I live in Germany. So the great thing is like a lot of these products are available on Amazon, and of course, Amazon is providing shipping to a whole bunch of countries all over the place. It's super expensive. I agree with you, but you can also get a lot of these raw products and create stuff yourself. So if you are creating stuff yourself, just make sure whatever it is that you're creating has a lot of slip to it, because if it has a lot of slip to it, then it's going to really do good things for your strands. Your strands aren't going to break off on each other just because they're in this particular product. And that can only mean good things for you. Philippe, I trust no one with my hair here in Germany. Yeah, I totally get that. And, it's going to take some time, especially if you've had bad experiences in the past. But I really do believe that, the more you kind of, do your research, maybe that person's around longer, is the more you can find somebody, hopefully, who's able to take care of your hair. And it's really difficult. Like, girlfriend, I went through the period where I was doing everything for myself, including trims. And that was a disaster. I need somebody to be able to truly go back there at the back of the head and know what things are looking like back there, and really take care of it for me. So I realize it's a huge amount of luck, but it's also a huge amount of work too. So if you are putting in the work, I do believe that you can't keep looking for something and never ever find it. You will absolutely find it eventually. Martina lives in Iceland and says, I went to London to visit a curl specialist in the Netherlands, I think. Yeah, there's curl specialists all over. And the great thing is that people are realizing more and more that like the world is not predominantly as white as it used to be. And so a lot of people have textured strands. A lot of people need this service. And so more and more we're starting to see people go out there and create the services that the textured population actually needs. Island girl, I do wash and goes. My hair would dry out if I wet it that much. I wash bi-weekly. Yeah, I think you and I have like a similar regimen. Because wash and goes, they dry my hair too. They look gorgeous, especially the first day, and then after that, it's just Tangle City. Tangle City. Felicia, thank you. Okay, Sheila. So this is off topic, but did I just hear you're in Toronto? Hope you're safe inside with all the wildfires. Thank you, Sheila. I really appreciate your love, your support, your concern. Yes, the weather was insane. It was insane. Like it was literally living in just like this big wildfire smoke. And so I didn't really go outside as often. I did purchase 2 air purifiers, which made the world of a difference. I don't have asthma, so that was good, but it did cause throat irritation. I was definitely, gobbling up a whole bunch of like, those cough syrup thingies to like just soothe in the throat, but it didn't really make a difference because it wasn't an issue health wise. It was an issue because of the wildfires. But I will say today is a lot better. Yesterday was the worst day. Today it rained in the morning. So now things are kind of back to normal, but it was crazy. And like the fact that they're even saying there's wildfire season, like friends, don't let them fool you. There's no such thing as wildfire season. I've never heard of that in my life. This is the first year where we've had anything like this, and it's very scary. I think it's indicative of environmental change, climate change. Like the world is warming up. It's bad. It's really, really bad. So yeah, like thank God the Quebec fires have now kind of simmered down. But yeah, thank you for asking about that. The situation is a little bit more under control now than it was even just yesterday. Alicia, why does fine hair seem to tangle more? That's a great question. So fine hair tangles more because each strand is actually very, very thin. So because it's very thin, it's actually missing an entire layer of protection, which causes the hair to tangle up more on itself. So thicker strands have thicker, like more protection. And just by virtue of being thicker, like it's harder to tangle up. Like, even this cord right here, right? It's pretty thick. If I put this in a knot, I'll be able to kind of undo that knot really easily. But if I was using a piece of thread and I tied the same knot, it'd be a lot harder. So if you think of it like that, that can kind of explain why it is the way it is. Mahumza, please do a guided tour of that product shelf behind you. I see a video request, and I absolutely will do a stash tour, product stash tour. I will, because it's just sitting back there, isn't it? Carl Alphonse, I can do the back of your hair for you. No, Thank you. Girlfriends, you see this craziness? Hubby's in the comments trying to cut the back of my hair. I mean, the love is strong, but it's not that strong. I kid. But real talks, like, I'm not gonna have unintended breakage. And then on top of it, if it's by your hubby or your spouse or someone you love, you can't even get mad. You can't get that mad because, yeah, you kind of called it on yourself. But thank you. That's very sweet of you. Nadoom, what are the best products and ingredients to prevent or reduce tangles in fine hair? So this is a really good question. Girlfriends, I have an entire Amazon shop that has all of the products that work really well for me. At least the ones that are available on Amazon. There are quite a few that aren't there, like stuff from Sultanicals, stuff from vendors that just aren't on Amazon, but I will go ahead and leave the link in the comment section because, when I'm looking for my products, I'm looking for things that have slip. Everything has to have slip. The shampoo, the conditioner, the deep conditioner for sure, they all have to have slip. And if they don't have slip, then I'm not using them. And so that has taken quite a bit of trial and error just to see exactly what would do those things for me, like what exactly would have that slip. But now that I'm here, I can tell you that like wash day is a breeze every single time. So I just went ahead and dropped the best fine natural hair products link in the curl chat. You can definitely check it out there. There are also playlists here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, talking about various different deep conditions, leave-ins, product reviews, type of a thing that you can check out if you're looking for products that work each and every time. And definitely if there's something there you have never tried before, might work well for you. If it works well for one fine natural, you should know that I have low to medium porosity hair. So that's a huge bit in that as well. But it might work for the high porosity ladies as well, depending on how you layer your products. Island Girl, we have wildfire season every year here in Cali. Yeah, so Cali, I've heard of wildfire season, but Canada, that's not a thing. That's definitely not a thing. And the fact that they're trying to normalize that is quite scary. But yeah, we don't have wildfire season. I think like definitely in like BC, like Vancouver, because Vancouver is quite close to Cali. So for sure, they had like a wildfire season, and usually there are wildfires that break out over there, but not in Ontario. Like Ontario, like miss me with that. That's not normal. That's not normal at all. I've lived here my entire life, all 3+ decades of it, and I've never ever 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 seen a wildfire in Ontario. Like, well, to be fair, it wasn't in Ontario, it was in Quebec. But I haven't seen anything that impacted Ontario the way it impacted Ontario recently. Like that's very, very, very concerning. Trisha, I'm at work and I missed number 4 and 5. Can you please repeat them? Absolutely. So, girlfriends, we are at the end of what I mentioned was really good. Actually, no, there was one more. But let's talk about what was mentioned thus far. So, number 1, the things that are thinning out your fine natural hair. 1, over manipulation. 2, heat tools. 3, poor nutrition. 4, protective styles that are not serving your fine natural hair goals. 5, I believe, was irregular trims. 6, overwashing. And 7, incorrect detangling. Now, those numbers might be all over the place because I think we jumped around as we were having the conversation. But rest assured, those are the 7 that I did discuss, up until this point. So to that point, the last one would be heavy products. So, girlfriend, let me know. Were you part of the scene when everybody was applying shea butter to their hair? Everybody and their grandmother was like, yeah, shea butter is the jam. Like, if you want your hair to grow and be long and protected, then you need shea butter. I was one of those naturals, and girlfriends, it was way too heavy for my fine natural strands. And so the issue is that the more you put that heavy product on your fine natural strands, is the more that it's actually going to just break right off and thin out. So unfortunately, I didn't know that. Again, at the time there was nobody in these streets. Like we didn't even have Michelle from Fine Natural Hair and Faith who was talking about fine natural hair, and I just follow that and wonder why my hair is breaking off. So heavy products are not going to work for you. And the way you know a product is heavy is if you apply it to your strands and your strands become like nothing. They're not even sitting, like it's just like paper thin all attached to your head. that's how you know that it's just far too heavy. Now, if you apply a product to your hair and it sinks in and your hair still has movement and bounce and fluff to it, then you know that that product is working really well for you. And 9 times out of 10, that's usually a product that's water based, not butter based. So yeah, I would definitely veer on that side to avoid the breakage. So that's the final point. Heavy products will absolutely thin your hair out. Okay, Sheila, your product shelf looks like under my sink with some of the same products. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. It's a really, really good one, right? Cheeto, are you ever gonna get a hair dye? Cheeto, I hope I'm saying your name correctly as well. So I don't think I'm gonna get a hair dye anytime too soon. I was considering a black rinse, but I want to see how long the hair can get first. Once I hit my hair goal, which is mid back length, then I will consider either lightening things up and adding like maybe a blonde, a brown, but not blonde, like a golden brown, or maybe going with that dye that I mentioned. But for me and mine right now, I'm still in length retention mode, healthcare mode, and so I haven't decided to do that just yet. But definitely in the future, I will. Mahamza, ditto rehair shelf. I see some Nowie, some Shine Moisture, and my eyes are poor, but my product chunky radar is sharp. You are so funny, Mahamza. You're gonna love the next set of videos coming out. I do have a partnership with Oyen Handmade. Hey, hey. I am so excited for this partnership, girlfriend. And the reason why I'm so excited for this partnership is because before the natural hair game became what it is today, which is like all of this, there were only a couple of products, there were only a couple of brands that were making natural hair products for like Black women and textured strands. And Oyen Handmade is the OG. Like they've been around, and y'all know I'm talking about Oyen Handmade. And finally, we connected. So they did send me some products. They have amazing skincare products as well. And the next couple of videos, I'm going to be showcasing some of that because I need to put y'all on. Like I've been on since like 2010, 2011. And finally, Oyen Handmade is interested in connecting with Fine Natural Hair Rocks too. They're interested in the Curlfriend crew because they want to help us, really elongate and grow our strands and have a better time with our natural hair care journeys. So really excited about that. Stay tuned. Some of their products are marketed to be used in ways that thicker naturals will have a better time with. But because I've been with them for so long in terms of using it and purchasing it with my own funds, I found ways to use the products in ways that are like conducive to natural hair growth for fine strands. So, and then also the skincare thing, which is like why my skin, like I use specific products on my skin that keep glowing and keep it nice. And I've heard you guys mention that you wanted to hear a little bit more about this. So yeah, bear in mind that's coming down the pipeline. Shelia, I found out that I can use Cantu products. I think it was silicone in it. My hair looks beautiful at first with the leave-in conditioner, but when I tried to wash it, my hair felt like plastic. Oh no, not the plastic. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Cantu, that's not a line that I necessarily use. No shade against Cantu. It's just the ingredients are not ingredients that I feel comfortable putting on top of my head. And I would never, encourage the Curlfriend crew to put products and ingredients on top of your head that I personally don't use. So that doesn't surprise me, but I didn't realize it was leaving people's hair feeling like plastic. Like, ew. That doesn't sound good at all. Island Girl, the only Cantu product I use is the Coil Calm Detangler. Yeah, I've never heard of that either, but I have heard a couple of friends like Cantu. So that's interesting. I'm gonna look for that the next time I'm in the beauty supply store just to see what's in it. Nadoom, only whipped shea butter. It kept my twist from frizzing out back in the day. Yeah, I did use a little bit of whipped. I tried to use shea butter as shea butter is in its natural form, and that was a disaster. I do not recommend that for fine natural strands. Yay, Cheeto! Hey, that makes me feel so good. I hate mispronouncing people's names. I have a name that gets mispronounced quite often as well, and so trust me, I get it. I totally get it, and so that's why I always try to avoid it as much as possible. And if I ever do pronounce any of your names incorrectly, girlfriend, let me know. I don't know if you're a fan of like the phonetic spelling of things, so people get it right. But I'm a-okay with that. I actually love being able to, get it right. Ellen Girl, I've never heard of K18 or Giovanni. Are those new brands? So K18 is new. It's actually right up there. And I have some of it on my strands right now, actually. And then Giovanni is an oldie but a goodie. Giovanni is really, really good. I was using that when I first went natural back in 2009, 2010. Their conditioners were really fantastic, super light, which is great for fine strands, but yet still moisturizing, which is a balance, right? Like, not a lot of these companies get that balance correctly, but when they do, I'm stuck. Cause yeah, like if you find something that works for you, girlfriend, keep it. Nadoom, love Oyen Handmade. They kept my hair healthy throughout the pandemic, plus henna souk and sultanicals. Yes, henna souk, believe it or not, I still haven't tried henna souk out yet, but I've heard such great things about it. My girl Curls of a CPA here on YouTube uses it all the time. She doesn't have fine strands, but I do like what I've been hearing about the product, and the fact that you have fine strands and you're saying it's good to do the line. I would definitely be interested in checking it out. Mahamza, the Oyen is delivered in the Channel Islands. The Hoyan is delivered in the Channel Islands via blast. Yes, Oyen, you know what? Like, honestly, Oyen is fantastic. Oyen is fantastic. Wherever it is, however it comes about, I'm glad. I'm so happy to hear that. Sheila, thank you. Sheila says she answers to everything, but it is Sheila. Okay. You know what? When I saw that LIA at the end of your name, I was like, am I pronouncing your name correctly? But I'm glad you clarified that up. I will get it right, Sheila. Girlfriend, thank you so much for joining today's video. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I did go ahead and post the video for the hair that everybody was asking about. So just to jog your memory, it was this one right here. Oops, that's not where I'm trying to be. We're on the back end of Financial Rocks right now, girlfriend, but that is the video actually. So yeah, here's the shorts. It's this kinky curly yaki wig. Major shout outs and thank you to Kinky Curly Yaki for sponsoring today's video and for sending this gorgeous. That hair was gorgeous. It absolutely was very, very pretty. I wore it to Vegas. It was vacation friendly as well. So if you are looking for something that your hair is going to be healthy after your vacation, then definitely check that out. Now, I do lean into protective styles for vacation, like wigs and every now and then other things as well too, just because you don't want to be rushing through your natural hair care regimen, right? And when you're on vacation, you want to just be enjoying yourself. You might be with your spouse, you might be with your friends, family, whatever. People want to keep it moving. So you can't really be there taking forever, eating up the time on hair. I find that wigs and, having a protective style really helps with that. And that one was a great one for that. So, anywho, thank you so much for coming, girlfriend. It was wonderful. It is almost 6 p.m. Thank you so much for spending your Friday evening, your Friday afternoon with me. It means the world to me, girlfriend. I will be back on Monday with a brand new video. And I just want to wish you a fantastic weekend, a blessed, beautiful weekend. Stay safe, hug on your loved ones, enjoy every single minute as if it were your last, because no minute is guaranteed, no moment is guaranteed. Just really just live your life. And, anything out there that's aggravating your spirit, aggravating your soul, just let it be, just chuck it to the wayside and let the sunshine come back your way and just live your life the way it deserves to be lived, as fabulously as you are. I love you to the moon and back. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, girlfriend.